Here's a tale rooted in soil and southern thrift. A curious chapter of agricultural desperation, scientific fancy, and human vanity all braided together in the 1850s. In the years before the Civil War, when Savannah was thriving on cotton and rice, the city's rich lowland soils were already beginning to show signs of exhaustion. Generations of monoculture farming had stripped the earth of nutrients. Planters and gardeners alike were desperate for anything to put life back into the land. In an era when chemical fertilizers were still in their infancy and guano shipments from Peru were too expensive for many, Savannah turned to more domestic sources. Barbershops, bathhouses, and wig makers, already central to daily life, became unexpected hubs of agricultural supply. Buckets of cut hair were supposedly gathered from their floors and cellars, sold or donated to local gardeners and plantation owners, mixed with other ingredients like bone meal, ground animal hooves, then scattered across fields or dug into garden rows. Why hair? The answer lies in its high nitrogen content. Hair is rich in keratin, a slow-releasing nitrogenous compound that was believed to enrich the soil and encourage strong green growth, particularly for vegetables, ornamentals, and cotton seedlings. When soaked or composted, it released nutrients gradually, much like bone meal or fish emulsion. Human hair was especially prized when it came from the wealthy and well-fed. Not a joke. There was a belief, not wholly unscientific for the time, that the hair of ladies of quality, nourished women of high birth, was better for the soil than that of the laboring classes. Silky locks from salons along Broughton Street fetched a higher price than the coarse trimmings of dock workers or soldiers. Though we can find no newspaper or agricultural journal of the day advocating the practice specifically, many organic gardeners continued using hair, bone meal, blood meal, and other animal products to enrich the soil. Folklore abounds. One tall tale tells of a mid-century gardener in Yamacraw who swore by a blend of hog's blood and hair from the neighborhood barber. His tomatoes, they say, grew like cannonballs. Another exaggeration whispers of a funeral hair wreath, common Victorian mourning art, that was accidentally composted behind a church rectory, resulting in the most heavenly bloom of lilies the city had ever seen. By the 1870s, as railroads improved and industrial fertilizers became widespread, and as the guano trade exploded, the practice of using human hair waned. It became seen as unsavory, or at least quaint. But for a decade or two, Savannah's gardens were nourished not only by sun and rain, but by the cast-offs of vanity and the sweepings of barber chairs. A strange tale, yes, but one that shows how necessity, nature, and a bit of frontier ingenuity shaped even the most peculiar practices. But were they that peculiar? Organic gardeners and farmers continue to employ many of those techniques today. So, next time you're cleaning out your hairbrush, just remember, some antebellum gardeners in Savannah might have tossed that right into the flower bed. Weird? Yes, but rooted in a kind of earthy wisdom. Today, organic gardeners are still chasing that same ideal. Feed the soil, not just the plant. Maybe you're using compost, worm castings, seaweed, or even, who knows, hair? Do you garden organically? What oddball amendments have you tried? I'd love to hear about it in the comments, whether it worked like magic or smelled like regret. And if you enjoyed this dig into the quirky roots of gardening history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a fellow gardener. I'd love it if you buy me a coffee. It would help me continue making great videos for you. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the video description below. There's more where this came from. See you in the next one.